Hello and welcome to the MAC weather page for this Tuesday, September 27th. And we've got quite a gamut of precipitation and conditions around the area for this week. Either what we've seen or what we're going to see. We got clouds, we got cool temperatures, sunshine, showers, drizzle, maybe even a few thunderstorms, some wind, some hail, maybe some water spouts near the Lake Michigan, some fog. So we've had quite a range of weather conditions. And we expect this cool and damp weather to continue right on through Friday now. This upper low is going to be even slower than what we thought yesterday. So plenty of precipitation ahead for especially southeast lower Michigan in the thumb and over into southwest Ontario, where we could see precipitation amounts possibly exceeding an inch here over the next 5 days. If we look at the normals for the day, our normal high is 67, the normal low is 44. And if we look at the conditions around the area yesterday, you can see temperatures mainly in the 60s across much of the area. You can see about a quarter to a third of precipitation in many areas across our locations, and other areas picking up around a tenth or 2/10 of an inch. But certainly everyone picked up precipitation yesterday, and we expect more over the next several days as that big upper low settles down. Looking at the 90-degree temperatures, I think this will probably be the final numbers, although I think we're definitely got some more 80-degree temperatures coming here over the next couple of weeks. It's going to be cool this week, however, and by the time we get into that warm air, I just don't see us hitting 90 degrees. But look at the 90-degree days we did accumulate, and in this area you can see I've kind of got circled. These are all southeast lower Michigan locations or areas away from the influences of the Great Lakes. So obviously those areas did much better. We didn't get quite as many as I thought we would. I forecasted about 14 to 16 in areas like this, so we fell a little bit short, and I think the reason why is we did not continue to transition out of the El Nino into a moderate or weak La Nina. We've instead stopped at a neutral or a negative neutral state, and I think if we would have continued, that would have the seasonal changes would have continued, where I think we'd have had more ridging across the eastern U.S. that would have been even stronger than what it was. And then also, though, it was responsible, I think, for some additional precipitation, which in a way was certainly a good thing. But certainly, if we look at the final averages, you can see about 85% is where we're at currently for the growing season compared to normal. And obviously, in the I think the loss in yield potential was certainly done in the months of May into early July, and especially June was a very bad month for moisture, and no doubt caused some of those yield losses. If we look at the growing degree days around some of the areas here for the season, all locations well above normal and well above the last several years. You can see Breckenridge well above what the normal would be, and I pointed out some of the areas that certainly caused some of our issues with a yield potential. And if we look at the other two locations, Brown City and Newaygo, again, well ahead of the last several years. And in fact, I'll show you a chart here in just a second here that shows over the last 21 years, as of yesterday, we are now the second warmest growing season that we've had here in Breckenridge, again, in the last 21 years. And I think we will surpass 1998 here in about 10 days. Now, we're going to be cool this week, but in 1998, pretty much the number of growing degree days plateaued. So I think with the very warm conditions, I think expected next week and the following week. And again, our season runs from April 1st to either October 10th or the first killing freeze. And I don't see any freezes coming up anytime soon. So it looks like we're going to be the warmest growing season we've ever had here in Breckenridge since we began keeping records back in 1995. If we look at the conditions around the area this morning, pretty chilly conditions out there in the upper 40s to low 50s, though that's compared to what we're used to. That's actually near normal. So again, pretty cool out there. And again, just traces of precipitation across the area here since midnight. And we expect more to develop, especially this afternoon, as that low pressure system drops down from near Lake Superior into lower Michigan on its way to Ohio, where it's only going to very slowly either stall or very slowly move off to the northeast. So again, I think, as I talked about yesterday, the best chances for rain is going to be for later this afternoon into Wednesday. And I think, again, that's when most of the rainfall across the region will fall. And if we look at some of the surface conditions, you can see the big game in town is that upper low. And again, it'll move to the south across Michigan and Ohio, but it's going to take several days for that to happen. If we look at the satellite view this morning, you can see as we hopefully put that in motion. Maybe we don't have that one in motion. Let's see if we can. Well, here's the current water vapor, and you can see that big circulation, and that's just going to ever so slowly move to the south. And we're going to pick up some of this moisture across the east coast, and it's going to get tossed back into that system. So I think that's what's going to add to that with that very slow moving upper low. Cranking away, it's going to have more time to pull that moisture from the east coast back into the Great Lakes. If we look at the radar this morning, you can see just scattered activity across the eastern western portions of the UP. But as that system drops, this area of precipitation is going to increase as we get heating aloft and at the surface, combined with that cool air well aloft. Again, we're going to have a pretty steep lapse rates. And any of the stronger showers that develop here over the next 18 hours certainly could be hail producers as well. That's something we'll keep an eye on. On the weather map this morning, you can see the only system that we're really concerned with is this big upper low as it moves to the south. You can see by tomorrow morning it's sitting across the northern parts of the state, and then as we move it into motion on Thursday, that'll sink down to Ohio and just ever so slowly then begin to lift off to the northeast. So again, pretty good chances of showers over the next 4 or 5 days. How much rainfall can we expect? Well, this was yesterday's. You can see all this moisture that was forecasted across the eastern portion of the U.S. and into southeast lower Michigan, certainly some decent amounts. But if we look at this morning's forecast, you can see some of the heavier rain is even making it farther back towards the Great Lakes. And again, parts of southeast lower Michigan, the thumb, into southwest Ontario could see amounts over 1 inch. So that's something we're keeping an eye on. Thanks for stopping by and have a great day, and 73s to all.